And we have our third guest who, to me, is pretty much a permanent fixture on this program because I've lost count the amount of times we've had this man on the show. And, of course, he's taken over the show at one point as well. But the non-stop touring juggernaut that is the mighty King Parrot. And we do have Matthew Young, frontman for the band, who can cook a mean corn on the cob on the barbie, as demonstrated on the Metal Down Under documentary that is soon to be released on the 22nd of August. We had a chance to see the advanced screening of it, and it's a stunning piece of footage with Matt cooking corn on the cob at the Toad, the Toad Hotel. Youngie, mate, how you doing?
Oh, I'm good, mate. I'm good. You shouldn't have given that away, mate. That's the best part of the movie.
Yeah, sorry, I'd spoiled it, But hopefully there'll be a blooper reel of some kind or some extra features of how to cook corn on the cob the real way by Youngie.
Mate, that wasn't my idea, mate. They came up to me, and I'm a vegetarian, so I don't actually eat meat. So they brought these corn in, and I was like, "You're going to cook corn on the cob?" I'm just like, "Are you serious or what?"
That's what was strange, because I could see you with a spatula in your hand, and I thought, okay, you're just frying up some snags at the Tuesday afternoon tote barbecues I used to have. And then the camera goes on to the hot plate, and what do you got? A bunch of corn on the cob.
Not my idea, mate. Not my idea.
Doesn't matter. It's all good stuff. But again, let's talk about King Parrot. This non-stop. I mean, to me, possibly the busiest band in the Australian metal scene today, and have been at least for the past year or so. Of course, you're about to kick off the tour this week, which we'll get into those dates shortly. But straight after that, you're heading to the US for 3 months. I mean, how did you cope on the last tour when we touched base a few times this year? That was about, 5 or 6 weeks, I think that was?
Yeah, that was like 6. Yeah, well, I think by the end it ended up being 7 weeks. We added a few extra shows and stuff, but yeah, we're heading over at the beginning of. Well, we've got this tour coming up, and then we've got the East Coast Australian tour, and then we're heading over to the States again to tour with our buddies from Origin, who have just released an awesome new album on Nuclear Blast, and from all reports, it's doing really, really well. Stoked to be going out on the road with them, because we did a couple of shows with them here in Australia, and that went really well, and they're all great guys. And we're also doing it with another band called Beyond Creation, who I haven't really heard much about, and I've just been checking them out, and they can play. Yeah, they're very very sort of tech death or whatever, in case no one's heard of them out here, but they seem to be doing really well over in the States. I watched a few of their videos on YouTube, and they're awesome. And then we've got another tour that hasn't been announced yet, and a couple of little sort of things, a fairly awesome festival appearance that I can't sort of let out of the bag just yet, but some good stuff happening, and we're going to take a month off over there and just hang out with some friends and start finish writing our new album, which is already sort of taking shape with our new drummer Toddy Hansen behind the throne. So,
yeah, fantastic addition.
Going really good.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, he's awesome, man. He just fits into the band really well, and unfortunately when Skits left after the US tour, and we were kind of like, oh, what are we going to do now, and gratefully Skits continued to do the return tour when we got back, and we were watching Toddy's other band, Rome, play when we were up in Brisbane, and we just looked at each other and went, why don't we just ask Toddy to play? And he just jumped at the opportunity, because I think Rome is sort of taking a bit of a break at the minute, and Skits was also really happy with Toddy jumping in as well. So it's worked out well for everyone. So we're just stoked, man. He's such an awesome guy.
Now, again, just keeping up the momentum for the group touring. I mean, like I said, you've sort of already got almost a new record in the bag, but when do you reckon you'll get a chance to actually start to record that in amongst all these tours?
Well, we're looking at sort of towards the end of the year, early next year, that we're going to get into the studio. We just want to sort of take a solid month off in the US, and we've sort of worked out somewhere where we can sort of bunker down and jam and just iron out some of the stuff. Like, we've got the structures for a lot of the songs sitting there ready to go, but sometimes they just need to be ironed out a little bit more, and we're just currently recording them all, just roughly recording them on our primitive recording gear that we have, and just so we can listen to it on the road and throw some ideas around, and then we'll just sit in there and nut it all out in the month off that we have between tours over there, and share it with a few people and see what they think. And but yeah, we don't want to stuff around too much, mate. We're not going to be one of those bands that sort of takes a year or two to get an album recorded. Like, we'll be done in a couple of weeks, I reckon.
I mean, if, like I said, you've got a month off in the States, have you had an idea of even just recording it over there? Is that something that you've thought about?
It is, mate. Yes, it is. It is. We're actually talking to a few people at the moment about how we're gonna do it. But it's still up in the air a bit at the moment. But we're talking with a few people, a few possible producers that may want to throw their hat in the ring and give us a bit of a chop out in turning it into a we can only hope it's going to be a lot better than Bite Your Head Off, because we did that really quickly, and that was all the first songs that we ever wrote, and we were sort of pretty green, and it is what it is, but we want to make this album really sort of stand out, so
it certainly shall, because of considering just how much live work you guys do. It's only going to make you guys a better band in the studio, and hopefully, again, capture the essence of what King Parrot is all about live. We'll come back after this track. We'll hear from some earlier material from the record, The Stench of Hardcore Pub Trash, killer title, and we'll come back and talk about the coming tour dates. Of course, the start of the tour that kicks off on Wednesday. We are chatting with Youngie from King Parrot, and this track's called Epileptic Butcher. This is Heavy at Home. We are chatting with Matt Young from King Parrot. That was Epileptic Butcher from the record Stench of Hardcore Pub Trash. I guess you don't want to give too much away, but we're looking at some more crazy track titles for the forthcoming record.
I'm working on it. Yeah. I'm not giving anything away just yet, but we're working on a couple. The couple that we got so far are kind of pretty boring, actually, but I'm sure there'll be some stupid stuff in there. Like, we like to mix it up a bit, so it's there's never sort of been any rules about what if it's it's got to be stupid or it's got to be serious or whatever. It's just whatever sort of goes at Camp King Parrot. So we'll just keep going with it and see what happens. But yeah, no doubt there'll be some stupid stuff. I
think that's part of the band's success, the honesty and the stupidity combined, where you don't really try to do anything else but be yourselves, and it doesn't seem contrived, pardon the pun, in any way as far as, the way the band carries on, because purely, when you go and see the band live, it's very unpredictable but incredibly entertaining at the same time. I know we spoke a few times when you were in the States, but, I'm sure the American audiences probably weren't prepared for what they saw once you guys hit the stage, especially the stage moves and the attire from Slats.
Yeah, I think they love Slats, especially the ladies over there, actually. And, he was a real hit with the ladies, big time. And, I think it was kind of similar to when we first started playing in Australia, and sort of putting the front foot forward, so to speak, and really sort of trying to bring the show into the audience a bit. And obviously we'd had a lot of practice, so we sort of had it down to a reasonably fine sort of art by the time we got to America. And a lot of them were just sort of standing there, kind of a little bit sort of dumbfounded, because obviously it's probably not commonplace too much over there for that sort of thing to happen the way that we do it anyway, with the sort of Australian banter. And we had a lot of hecklers too, which was great, like, shut up man, we can't understand what you're saying, and stuff like that. So
Yanks.
And look, it was good. And I guess us going back so soon for another couple of tours is sort of testament to how sort of well it went the first time. So we're just going to give it our best shot, and see what happens. And then hopefully we can, finally get to Europe as well soon, which is in the cards too.
Yeah, that was another thing I was going to mention, because a lot of bands tend to sort of head to Europe because most generally say that, Europe a bit more open-minded for more different types of metal, where Americans can be a little bit standoffish and, that's not in, we're not into it. But obviously it seems like the Americans have completely embraced King Parrot from the get-go, especially the fact that you're going back so soon. Most bands do one US tour and they're probably not back for another 4 or 5 years if they can make it back. So again, it's a testament to obviously the band's hard work and contacts as well. And again, that certainly goes hand in hand. If you don't get out there, you don't make the contacts, nothing gets done. What do you say to a lot of the bands out there who, wish we could be like King Parrot and get out there? Because it's been nothing but sheer hard work for the band to keep doing what you're doing. We actually caught up recently. We saw you do a part of the Music Victoria, like a music sort of seminar for up-and-coming, heavy music bands. I guess some advice, because obviously there's proof in the pudding that King Parrot are one of the most successful extreme metal bands in this country. What advice do you say to bands who want to get out there and take it to, as far as they can, like you guys?
Well, I think one of the main things is just to not be afraid of putting yourself out there and putting your own personalities out there as a band. I think that's sort of, one thing that we have definitely benefited from is that there's no sort of rules in terms of, this is how you have to be, or this is how you have to act, or, we're just going to be this kind of band. We just are who we are, and we put the personalities out there, and people can really sort of relate to that. And obviously the videos that we've done have helped a lot with that. And I guess, you got to run a pretty tight ship in terms of the business side of it. And I think, you got to be a bit of a tight ass, I guess.
Well, it helps. If you've got more going out than coming in, your business has sunk. So, like you said, it's true. You have to have a business sense. Some bands think it's all about, sex, drugs, and rock and roll, but it's not. You just got to keep your eye on the prize, because there's a lot of sharks out there, and they will bite the hell out of your ass and take a piece, because, that's what they'll do.
That's exactly right, mate. And you just got to sort of, just be careful and just talk to people and get it out there, and don't be afraid to sort of look like a bit of a goofball sometimes, because we certainly have done that, and it's sort of paid off like big time for us. And we're not. We take the music and everything like that just as serious as anyone else, but at the same time, we like to have a lot of fun while we're doing it, and we enjoy hanging out with each other, and we enjoy each other's company, and we know when to leave each other alone as well. And that's sort of pretty important too, is like keeping everyone, making sure that everyone's happy in the camp as well. So it's there's a lot of things that we've got to go right and all that, I suppose, but we're just going to keep powering on, and we love doing it. And we sort of, I guess, we've got a bit more of an idea of what we're doing now, and working with some great people, which is awesome. Like some of the people that we're talking to now, as opposed to sort of say like 12 months ago, it's just pretty incredible. Some of the people that we're sort of working with and potentially working with for this next album. It's if it all goes to plan, what we've sort of spoken about so far, that's like people will probably be like, holy shit, that's pretty cool.
That's great. Well, how can fans keep up to date with everything to do with King Parrot? I know you've got certain social medias and stuff, so plug away with all your pages.
Yeah, cool. No worries, mate. Yeah, we're just on Facebook at King Parrot Band, facebook.com/King Parrot Band, or just search for King Parrot. I don't think there's any other King Parrots out there in the world. And on Twitter and Instagram, we're just King Parrot Band as well. So pretty easy to find. And that's sort of all we're running at the moment. We've got the Big Cartel store as well with all our shirts and vinyl and all that sort of stuff. And that's just kingparrot.bigcartel.com.
Awesome. Well, again, look forward to, of course, the up-and-coming Australian tour. Let's plug those dates too while we're at it. The first show kicks off this Wednesday at the Carriers Arms in Wodonga, Thursday at the ANU Bar in Canberra, then on Friday at Tattersalls Hotel in Penrith, and then on Saturday you're playing at the Corrimal Hotel in Wollongong, and then back to Melbourne on Friday the 25th for a show at the Ding Dong Lounge, and then on Saturday the 26th at the Wrangler Studios in Footscray. That's an all-ages show. Now, I've been told there's going to be more all-ages shows sort of cropping up in Melbourne now, I'm hoping. That's what's sort of been word anyway, because we've had that under 18, over 18 scenario for God knows how long, too long in fact. So let's hope that is an improvement with more people sort of getting out to shows, old and young. Youngie.
Yes. Yeah, no, apparently they're allowed to do all ages shows now, which is great at licensed venues. So that's awesome news.
That's very, very good news. All right, well, again, always a great chat, always a great time talking to you, and we'll catch you at the shows coming up, and all the information's up on the Andrew Hogue Radio Facebook page with the King Parrot banner there if you want to check out the dates. And we're going to wrap up, I guess, the show now too, because it's just been absolutely chock-a-block. So again, want to thank you for your time, Youngie, as well as Alex from Sleep Makes Waves and Mike from Toe Hider, and being other bands that we've featured as well. So we'll end off with King Parrot's hit single, which you can do the introduction, Matt.
It's Shit on the Liver from King Parrot.
All right, safe travels, buddy, and we'll catch up with you very, very soon.
Thank you, Hoagie. You rule, man. Thanks.
To the death. See ya.
Cheers, brother.